Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Legends Rugby Grounds for the opening match day of the 2022 Nile Special Rugby Premier League. It is a beautiful day, isn't it? My name is Ernest Akorevirunji, and I will be your commentator for today with Ruben Chihumuro to be the soundtrack to this epic piece of action that we are yet to witness. We are Legends Rugby Grounds, the venue for the past 7 series finale and the final match day of the 2021 league. Both were title deciders involving Pirates and KOBS, but they were won by KOBS, who completed a season double. We are here with the current champions, the KOBS in blue up against IMPIS in green, starting their title defending campaign at home. But before the action gets underway, we will have a moment's silence to honor the memory of our dearly departed comrades in Ugandan rugby. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a way of honoring our dearly departed comrades here in Ugandan rugby. Peter Ofong, Matthew Okema, and the national team coach Robert Seguya. The memories from the moments we shared together will forever live on in our hearts. And we know that the best way they would have loved for us to honor them is by playing this beautiful game of rugby. It is the Nile Special Rugby Premier League, played here in Uganda as the top-tier Premier League since 1991. This is the 31st season. Only 4 teams have been able to win the league. IMPIS in green here today, one time. Pirates, who came with a brand of exciting rugby, also one time. KOBS, the current defending champions, 14 times, and Heathens with a record 15 times having won the league. The most recent, like I said earlier, was one by the Betway KOBS, who had to wait 5 years to test this glory again. Ruben Chumuro, what do you think about today's game at our hands?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just think it's great. It's a great experience to now have a different kind of rugby. We have been experiencing a lot of sevens in the past few months or so, but now we are in the 15s, and it's going to be a whole different ball game. Everything that was accomplished in the sevens is now forgotten, and the team in blue, the KOBS, know that they need to get a new project started. They need to defend a trophy that they hold, one that they had that had eluded them for so long, but then after some time they were able to regather. And with Joseph Aredo having ball in hand, preparing to kick off, I'm sure a lot is going on through his mind, but he knows that leadership will be key as the center referee blows the whistle and Joseph Aredo takes it deep. The team all the way from Makerere putting on their alternative jersey today, as Keith Weraga, who is in the shirt number 15 today, puts in our first kick of the game from the 22-meter area, which means he gets some considerable ground outside of their half, and they get the first line out of this 15s league going.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication on the IMPIS reception of the ball, leaving it to bounce, but it bounces into the way of Kalezi Stephen, who found his fullback Keith Weraga to find touch just outside the 22. And now we see KOBS with the first line out of the game. Let's see how they will make use of this set piece with Tukwasiwe Derek. A little bit of a contest in the air there against IMPIS, but he's able to gather. Quick ball out by Masendi, fumbled by Aziku and Collins Chimboa. And now the KOBS can send it out wide to the back line. Joseph Aredo with a long pass out wide to national team teammate, that is Adrian Casito. Brought down in contact, loses the ball forward, but IMPIS were offside there on this phase of play. And now time to make some decisions. Do KOBS go to the corner or do they go for points?
Yeah, I think it's a bit early. I'm sure the KOBS will want to go go out. You can see all the players actually pointing outside, but ideally it is the captain that makes the final call. And you can see there the team has decided to go for the line out. It's still very early in the game, and they are backing their set piece. They are backing all the training that has been happening throughout the course of the week and even throughout the previous weeks. Now it all comes to test, you should say. They get the opportunity to have their first attacking line out inside the IMPIS 22-meter area. The players will also be noting that the national team coach, Brian McCallum, is also in the stands. So he's watching players, looking out for those who have been incumbents of the national team and those who potentially will be looking to get into the national team. This is an opportunity for them with the national team coach in the stands. They need to prove a point as Pius Ogena gathers, and a very, very good maul there set up. But the referee is not happy with the way the maul was bound there. And it's actually a case of the thrower not getting his bearings right. So that was another a line out that went wrong. So it's going to be an opportunity there for IMPIS to get themselves out of their half.
I like to look at the set pieces and how the teams shape up. And so as the second line out for KOBS didn't go exactly well, having fumbled through the first one and then losing this one. But now we have another platform. This time it's for IMPIS to attack from the scrum. Robert Sentongo will feed that ball, quick ball out, and charging KOBS defense is on to them. And the ball has been lost forward by Kennedy Muhumza at the back of that scrum. And you can see that the intent in the KOBS forward pack, knowing that they have the weight and the experience to bulldoze and bully the IMPIS forward pack. And they have earned a turnover there for a scrimmage.
Yeah, definitely. That contest, the physical contest, is going to be one that is very, very important, especially in the 15s game, and particularly looking at the size of the forwards, the bigger size, and you can see what the physicality and the size of the KOBS brings to the table as KOBS try to get the ball past the try line, but unfortunately they are unable to reach past the try line itself. However, they still have an opportunity to attack. The referee deems the ball to have not been put out properly by the IMPIS side. So as we're waiting for communication, I think it's going to be a scrum there to the KOBS, who get another attacking opportunity. They are being as patient as possible. Remember, due to curfew regulations, games are starting a bit earlier, and the heat is really playing a factor. So being your first game and playing it at 1 p.m. could also be a test, and fitness levels are really going to come to the fore. Who is fitter, who has the agility. But you can see KOBS trusting their forwards this time, and the ball being ushered by Derek Tukwasibo at the end. This time he makes no mistake. Derek Tukwasibo with the first try for the Betway KOBS, with a conversion to come. But you can see patient play, trusting the process, trusting the phases, and just letting the set piece do its work. And we talked about the physicality. We talked about the size advantage, and you can see what that does for a team when you have a pack that you can really trust just like that. And that's the first try for the Betway KOBS.
Yeah, the making of a typical team try, forward pack try, knowing that you're a stronger pack and you're pushing against an even less experienced squad. KOBS making sure that they shuffle the ball out back to Derek Tukwasibo, who was patient enough to trust that his tight forwards were going to push, and all he needed to do was dive over the line. And we see there Joseph Aredo making easy work of that conversion to make it a full complement of points at 7-0.
Joseph Aredo there getting the extras. He knows he has a lot of responsibility on his hands, especially now with the communication from Brian Odog that he will officially be hanging his boots, and probably, if it's not a case of Ugandan rugby players who retire and come back, and he has retired for good, that means Joseph Aredo has a lot of responsibility in this KOBS outfit, and you can see he's leading from the front. yet again with his ever-reliable boot as Henry Sekuye kicks deep, and Karima Renaito collects and kicks, but he hasn't gone for touch. It's a case of a long kick of territory, and Robert Sentongo taking his time to hold the ball. The rugby ball can be elusive, and the ball there, Keith Weraga's kick is charged down. Keith Sentongo trying to clear everything, and he ran with the ball back to the try area, and he grounded the ball, which means it's going to be a scrum to the KOBS inside their 5-meter area.
Ruben finding some humor there in the rugby IQ displayed by by the IMPIS scrum of Robert Sentongo. After that charge down by Karim Arinaitwe, the ball is open. It's open play for everyone, and Robert Sentongo is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and he decides to ground the ball in his own area. But once you take the ball back into your own try area, that's going to be a scrum feed for the opposing team at the 5-meter line. And there we see Robert Sentongo will be thinking about making amends there as his opposite number, Robert Masendi. The two Roberts at number 9. Robert Masendi feeds, and it's another strong scrum from the KOBS, but we can see Saul Chivubi is not impressed with Emmanuel Sediavane's antics there at the breakdown at the scrum down. Collapsed in the middle according to Omar Balikanda with some very funny comments here by the fans trying to cheer on their teams. But it's going to be a scrum feed reset as the center referee has a word with the captains to talk to their teams. That's Kennedy Muhumza and Joseph Aredo. To maintain their cool. It's a hot day here, but the teams will need to maintain their cool, and maybe there will be some water breaks coming in early in this one.
Yeah, definitely water breaks will be needed. Even us where we're seated, it is, you can feel the heat, so I can imagine how the players are really experiencing it. But you could just see, I think it was the case of what led to this scrum that is going to be KOBS' second scrum inside the 5-meter area of the IMPIS, that IMPIS having conceded a similar try from a similar situation, finding themselves in that kind of situation, goes back to one thing: them failing to clear their lines. They had all the time in the world, and they wasted so much time in trying to clear those lines. Robert Sentongo maybe getting a little bit of pressure, trying to clean up Keith Weraga's mistake, and then running straight to his try area. But anyway, and this time illegal scrummaging there by the IMPIS, and the referee gives a full penalty to the KOBS. KOBS look like they are intending to call another scrum, and as you can see, Derek Tukwasiwe next to the referee there saying, "Give us another scrum." They are realizing that IMPIS's Achilles heel could be the scrum, especially when you consider weight and you consider size. Then they are really employing the scrum yet again.
Yeah, it's the same tactic that they employed last season. They scored 91 points here at Legends Rugby Grounds, 9 short of an unanswered century, and there was no two ways. There was no doubt that the tactic that was used was the set piece, the scrum, and knowing that KOBS, knowing that they can bulldoze their way through. Last season, 91-0. The other season, about 80 points scored at Makere. And this time, Derek Tukwasiwe knows that we will not keep pushing all the way for IMPIS. Maybe they have laid down the anchor. They have thrown the anchor into the waters. He decides to pick, and driving onto the blind side, finds the touchdown to extend the score to 12-0.
Yeah, Derek Tukwasiwe having a field day. Derek Tukwasiwe, the man I personally nicknamed Uganda's Scott Faddy. The only difference is he doesn't have a big beard like Scott Faddy, but he is equally as instrumental for KOBS whenever he gets a chance to play. Very intelligent, and you can see exploiting the defensive lines here and utilizing the strength of his scrum and having the foresight to see that, you know what, I can be able to get myself past the white line, and he scores his second try in just a few minutes of the first half. KOBS trying to assert their dominance early on. Can Joseph Aredo get the extras to make it a perfect score thus far? IMPIS still have to probably have a hard conversation with themselves, because they have not really had a good outing when they play against KOBS, and this, from the start of things, looks like it's going to be one of those days.
Conversion missed by Joseph Aredo, so score remains at 12-0, but you can see running across the pitch is the man with the T is Daudi Semwami, who has not been listed onto the team, but he's the winger with the KOBS, very experienced, I could say, in both local and test rugby, and he's running the T for his teammate Joseph Aredo. And speaking about kickers, there's Henry Sekuye, one of the most colorful kickers the country has seen, but he blew hot and cold, and he has played his entire career at IMPIS with a long kick now to Adrian Casito, well gathered by the fullback onto Joseph Aredo, who finds touch just past the halfway line. Very good exit at that restart, and we have a line out for IMPIS. First line out for Ebari Godfrey to feed. Do IMPIS throw at the 2 position, or they throw at the back? We know the jumpers that they have in there. There's Sadiawane, there's Muhomuza and Kalezi, and Blaze Ocheng, Blair Ocheng. Blaze Ocheng again. But let's see who they go for. Kennedy Muhomuza jumps very well, ball well gathered by IMPIS, and flows out wide to Robert Sentongo, and very well secured at the breakdown. Slow ball though, and Keith Weraga has to come and play scrum off onto the experienced Simiri Amos, who carries straight into the forward pack. Is brought down by Sol Chivumbi onto Sekuye. Very high pass. Sekuye dances his way, attempts to throw a pass, but then regathers onto Keith Weraga, who kicks possession away so easily into Collins Shimboa's hands. And now KOBS can attack with Karim Arinaito calling for the kick to the back, knowing that there's no one watching. But Tatham Pande carries straight into contact, and it's a penalty for the KOBS. Ian Munyani, national team 7's captain, restarts quickly onto Pius Ogena. Tries to fend off the first man, he does, and the second settles for the breakdown onto Adrian Casito. Adrian Casito finds Justin Kimono. Justin Kimono, a ferocious winger now playing in the midfield, carries into contact. It's the third phase for the KOBS in attack here as they look for their third try. Atham Pandi again on the carry. Contest at the breakdown from IMPIS. They win the ball over, and the referee says you can play on. Keith Weraga is fumbling the ball, but he's now able to make a much better kick to clear his half onto Karim Arinaito, who gives it a kick and chase. And now Robert Sentongo will return in favor. Sends it out wide to Amos Asimire, who's brought down in the middle. And now IMPIS still can't string 2 passes like we had thought. And they're playing backwards. Onto Stephen Kalezi from Henry Sekuye. He's not able to find touch. Finds Ian Munyani. Ian Munyani to Joseph Aredo. Sends it out wide to Adrian Casito. He's looking for options on the outside. He doesn't take any. Sends it out wide to the very skilled Alhaji Manano. And KOBS are now on the attack again, just outside the 22. Slow ball this time for Robert Masendi. Joseph Aredo opts for the back of the team. Long pass out wide to Derek Kwasibwe from Ian Munyani. It finds the ground. The gap was there. It had opened. But Derek hadn't read it, and it's a line out for IMPIS. They survived this wave of KOBS attack, but can they string more than 1 or 2 passes in the attack, IMPIS here?
Yeah, if you're an IMPIS fan, or if you're even the IMPIS coach right now, you'd be really, really worried. The team looks to be on a lot of pressure, both in attack and in defense. We have seen even when they have the ball, they seem to be playing for survival, not for thriving. And yeah, they really need to find the leadership within themselves to be able to settle this down. But right now, it's not looking good. Every time they're getting possession, they're aimlessly kicking it away without any intention, but just trying to get out of their half and survive. And you can see they lose their own line out there. Derek Tukwasibwe to looking for his fellow back row mate, Pius Ogena, who's trying to pick the ball up. Referee says he fumbles with the ball, so it's another get out of jail card there for the IMPIS. But Derek Tukwasibwe being very impressive on top of scoring the tries. He has been very instrumental at the line out and also with the ball carrying, showing that he can do everything.
Yeah, Derek Kwasiwe, they are playing very well. But there was a touch as Derek Kwasiwe was looking for that offload to Pius Ogena. There was a touch on the ball that threw the ball to the ground. And as Pius Ogena was trying to regather, he loses it. He knocks it forward on the floor. And IMPIS get a chance to now attack. But we know that this is not their strength in the set piece. Their lineouts look clean if the hooker throws a good ball. But the scrum is not exactly their strong point. And as you can see, that wave of attack from IMPIS. Offload there from Muhomuza onto Sentongo, and now IMPIS can clear their half with a kick that is going to find touch. No, it doesn't. Karima United now to Adrian Casito. It is a sevens attacking lineup for KOBS with Marco Suna on the outside. Marco Suna will cut back inside, runs into the defense of Edmond Wire. The possession has been turned over by the IMPIS, but Umar Barikanda says that arrival at the breakdown wasn't legal, and Joseph Aredo kicks an optimistic chip and chase for Adrian Casito. It bounces all the way into touch in goal, and IMPIS have a choice of a scrum where the kick was made from, or a 22-meter dropout, and they opt for the 22-meter dropout. I think that's a smart decision there, as opposed to you will clear your line with that kick, as opposed to fighting to win the ball in your own scrum.
Yeah, definitely. And we're seeing, I think, the first real contribution of Edmond Wire there, wearing shirt number 12 today. He usually puts on number 10 for IMPIS as well. But they are just kicking possession back to KOBS, and a big tackle there. Justin Kimono being given a reminder that he isn't as big as he might think he is. We're yet to see who completed that tackle, but Jonathan Luhoni, yes, the man they call Uganda's Jonah Lomu, putting a big tackle there on, and you can see Pius Ogena trying to enforce there as well. Very physical game there, and Robert Masendi with a very loose pass. And you can see IMPIS is complaining. You could say they have a case. The ball looked to have been lost forward by the KOBS, but it has been given as an advantage to the KOBS nonetheless there. Robert Masendi, a couple of physical encounters there. We are seeing Pius Ogena with Ayebare there. Then we are also seeing Jonathan Luhoni with Justin Kimono. Clearly, we're having a water break coming up very soon, but the game has not been short of any physical contests. And I think going into this water break, being 12-0 down, maybe there's a silver lining for the IMPIS coach to really look at that. There could be something they can work out. It could have been worse, but they're having to defend for their lives. Very good ball movement. Marco Suna with sports day and a big hit, but he takes one for the team, and luckily enough, the momentum sends Marco Suna outside into touch. Luckily enough, you should say, after such very good ball movement by the KOBS.
Yep. Marco Suna there with a very good carry, ran straight into Robert Sentongo on the cross cover. And as the laws of momentum say, energy, the transfer of energy, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it is changed from one form into another. Robert Sentongo bounces backwards, and Marco Suna bounces into touch. And it's another poor line out there when it looked like IMPIS had survived this wave of attack. They hand the ball away onto IMPIS, and Karima Renaito, who knows how to score tries, will dive over for KOBS' third try of the game to turn the scores to 17-0 in favor of the KOBS. And you've got to think that IMPIS need to clean up. They are not conceding tries because KOBS are outsmarting them. They are conceding tries because they are not able to settle into this game. And hopefully they can do that early enough and, begin to now play to their structure, play to how they want to attack a championship winning team like KOBS.
Yeah, at no point in this game has IMPIS showed a case of calm or semblance. They have been very, very panicky, you should say, and nothing has been shown in regards to structure, whether in attack or in defense. They seem to be scrambling, and in that last sequence of play, you could see that they were sucked in, and it was an easy movement of the ball to Ian Munyani, who had a 2-on-1, and he released Arinaito Karim for that try. Let's see if Joseph Aredo can add the extras in this particular one. He has, oh, unfortunately, it's a bit short, and with that, we are going to go into the water break. So with this water break, what do you think, or how are you perceiving this game thus far from what you have observed, Ernest?
About 15 minutes, 20 minutes played, and KOBS have 17 points on the board. I think it's going to be about, if they can put 10 points every 10 minutes, and we have 80 minutes, it's probably going to be a long day for IMPIS, going probably all the way to 80 points. I think the only way that they can get back into this one, they are on paper they are already out of the game, but the best way they can get back into this one is by shaking off those nerves that they have, you know, with leaving the ball to bounce at kickoff, with not clearing their half, loose balls in the middle, giving away penalties. If they can shake away all those nerves off, they will be able to do some damage control in this one and probably put some points on the board. We've not seen them play in the KOBS half. But KOBS, on the other hand, not doing a lot of hard work. They are doing the simple stuff, I could say, bulldozing IMPIS, finding the space on the outside. But they probably need to be a little bit more clinical, I think, if they are to make an even bigger margin of a score in their first match of the title defense campaign.
Yeah, important to note where you talked about IMPIS having to settle all the nerves. They really need to calm down, settle the nerves, and also then they need to cut down on the number of times they're kicking the ball away. They are aimlessly kicking the ball away, and you wouldn't want to kick the ball to the likes of Adrian Casito, Joseph Aredo, Arinaito Karim. They'll just keep punishing you and keep bringing the ball back to you. So they need to be very strategic in how they kick the ball if they are to find territory. But most of the times, we have not seen what IMPIS can do with ball in hand. Where are the ball carriers? Where is the leadership? And who is taking charge of actually making those impact carries? We have not seen. They have, you could say, 3 playmakers in their backline with Henry Nsekuye, Edmond Wire, and Arinaito Stallone. But we have not seen what those guys can do as well. So they need to play the ball. As soon as maybe they can get to the 10-meter mark within their own half, they should start playing the ball. They are kicking the ball away too much, and it is getting them punished, and they are really getting tired in defense.
Yep, I think that's a bit of a fair assessment of how the game is going. But you noticed in the KOBS team talk there, we have a couple of experienced names and faces. You see Brian Asaba, who was away for the 2021 season, is back for after the 2020 season. He's back, but this time he's not going to be playing. Former captain Brian Asaba. We saw Byron Oketayot, who has been ruled out due to injury, and he's also there supporting, giving moral support to his teammates. But then today is the first game that KOBS will be playing in Brian Odong's days of retirement, and Brian Odong was here today. And you know that KOBS will want to give him a perfect, let me say, thank you, appreciation for the services that he rendered to the club. But let's see how well they can defend against this wave of attack by IMPIS as they thread a few balls out wide. This is the first time the ball has been moved from one touchline to another by IMPIS. Stallone finding the offload from Jonathan Luhoni back inside. And now it's the first phase for IMPIS. Henry Nsekuye goes for the drop goal. It looks like it has the direction but not the power. But they were playing the advantage. Henry Nsekuye smart there in going for the points. He knew they had the advantage. And now surely IMPIS will be going for points at this point. It's the first time they have played in the KOBS half. And hopefully they can get some points on the board. They have a couple of good kickers and playmakers, like you mentioned. That's in Henry Nsekuye, Edmond Wire, and Stallone Arinaitwe. But Henry has earned the favor of the coaches and I think of the team that have been kicking. Let's see if off the tee for the first time in a really, really long time. Henry Nsekwe hasn't played 15s rugby in a long time since he got that shoulder injury. Let's see if he still has the bearings and the accuracy to put points on the board.
Yeah, that was the after the water break. That was the kind of response that IMPIS needed, and Henry hitting the bar yet again, the upright yet again, and they at least they really needed those 3 points to at least get them out of to get some points on board. That would have been an encouraging sight, but luckily enough, KOBS kicks back to them, and they still kick back. Their next assignment will be to defend, and to defend well, and it is referee saying the tackler tackling the man without the ball, and Renato Karim there, a bit of inexperience, no timing. His tackle right as IMPIS get an opportunity to find touch as Captain Joseph Aredo. They are trying to contest that call, but the referee's word is final.
Karim there a little bit lucky that Stephen Kalezi had not jumped in the air, otherwise that would have been an infringement that could have sent him to the sin bin. But you could tell that maybe the timing wasn't right, and as Kalezi fumbled with the ball, he loses it forward, but then he has been taken in the air, and safety first at all times in this sport. IMPIS got the chance to clear their play outside their 22, but the miss kick by Edmond Wire. I think IMPIS are now trading, taking chances with their kickers. Henry Nsekwe was unlucky there to hit the upright for the first points of the game, but let's see how they will do with this lineout. Their lineouts have been going well, IMPIS. Again, Kennedy Mhuza up in the air, beats Alhaji Manano, slaps it backwards to Robert Sentongo, who finds Keith Weraga. Keith Weraga finds Pius Mpoza. Mpoza offloads into contact, but Ian Munyani is the tallest man on the pitch. He will leap higher than everybody else to earn the turnover for IMPIS, and IMPIS will force a turnover at that breakdown. And now Robert Sentongo, very sweet pass out wide. And IMPIS are now putting more than one pass together. This is what we would have loved to see from the start, but they are playing really well now, although they are unable to put some points on the board. But there are some very good territory gain, I could say, about 10 meters with lost possession and then a turnover. They are showing intent in this one. IMPIS not giving KOBS a walkover, a stroll in the park today in the first game. Probably the toughest game that they could have got at the start of the season.
Yeah, whatever Emmanuel Katuntu told them at the water break surely seems to have worked. The only thing they need to maybe work on is the way they are passing the ball, but they are a lot more ferocious in their tackling, in their defense, and you can see that they're even trying to attack the gain line. So this is definitely an improvement from the team from Makerere. Now they, for their efforts, they get a reward of a scrum just at the center mark, and they get a very, what you can say, it's a very, very good attacking opportunity. And you can see Henry Nsekwe is aligning his backs to both sides of him. Edmond Wire to his left, and Arinite Stallon on his right. It's going to be interesting to see what this could be a case of one of those training ground moves and what can come out of this. I can't wait to see, because these are the things that usually excite me. But it's a scrum there. Robert Sentongo with the ball in hand. A youngster that has come up through the age grades of Makerere and now featuring for their senior team, the IMPIS. And there you can just see the difference in scrum. And to Kwasibwe trying to look for the long pass to Justin Kimono, who's taking the gap and taking no prisoners. Remember, he was a winger and he has the legs to go all the way, dotting down for KOBS' other try. That's the fourth try, I should say.
Yeah, try number 4 there, easy work for Justin Kimono. We all know he has the pace. He's a big man, but he still has that pace in him. Finds himself facing off after that turnover with Edmond Wire. Edmond Wire does not have the legs to maintain that gap, and Kalezi had no option. He comes back in to make the tackle, and the ball is spread out wide to the winger. And so Justin Kimono is able to hit that gap, run. Keith Weraga appears to have pulled the hamstring, so he has no pace to catch up with Justin Kimono, and it's a very easy try there but very good attacking from KOBS on the scrum. The ball is not theirs, but the scrum comes out on the other side, and they make maximum use of it by stretching the score from 17 to 22 with conversion to come. Joseph Areda so far missed 2 conversions. One hit the upright, but let's see how he will perform on this one. This one sails a little bit wide to the right. Very uncharacteristic of Joseph Aredo to let these points go. He was the overall point scorer in an MVP of the past 7 series, but I think that he's maybe still yet to get in tune with kicking off the tee for the 15th season.
Yeah, you could say that, but it's always been a case of Ugandan kickers being a bit hot and cold, sometimes putting in the extraordinary kicks and then sometimes missing the more ordinary ones. But Joseph is one of the more reliable kickers in Uganda rugby. If you had to put money on any kicker, Joseph would be on your list. As IMPIS find themselves with a deficit of 22 points and needing to have a response, an immediate response. Surely they will want to get something going before halftime, as many of the fans start to walk in now. You could say they're still trying to adjust to the change in kickoff times. Usually kickoff is for the first game is usually 2:30, but it is now at 1 p.m. Sharp. So many of the fans are still adjusting. Remember, it's a Saturday, but Saturday is always a rugby day here in Uganda. And we appreciate all the authorities and all the people responsible for enabling us to have rugby and to enjoy rugby. And for those that are enjoying on Kawowo Sports, that is also something awesome. Just make sure you're drinking a Nile special wherever you are.
Yeah, rugby at 1 p.m. is the true definition of lunchtime sports. A couple of people who may have sacrificed their lunch to catch this game. If you're a KOBS fan, you will think that these past minutes have been the right decision. But if you're an IMPIS fan, you will hope that your team is able to catch a break and put a smile on your face, having had rugby for lunch. But then Keith Weraga there is in a concerning situation, as he was chasing Justin Kimono to stop him from scoring that try, or at least force him to score in the corner. Appeared to have stretched his hamstring, and now he's needing medical attention. A quick reminder that this is the first match day of an 18 straight matches, and while at it, there's a couple of other games going on across all the other venues. As we speak right now, Rams is taking on the Mongas at Makere, and the Black Pirates are tussling it out with the Ginger Hippos at Kings Park Stadium. We will be getting you the latest updates from all those venues as we get underway again after this injury break, with a kick restart from Henry Nsekuye. This time delivers a very nice kick for his team to chase. Ian Munyani is unable to gather, loses the ball backwards, but then IMPIS chasing trio have lost it forward. And that restart from IMPIS was much better to give them a chance to contest. Even when it is Ian Munyani to gather, they were able to contest that ball, did not maintain the possession. But it's a scrum for the KOBS, just inside the half. They are not used to playing in their half, KOBS, so you might think that they want to clear their half, but the way I see the team is positioned with Joseph Aredo in the pocket behind Justin Kimono, I think they will be going for a crashing ball for the first carry and then send it out wide, so that we have that pace for pace on Adrian Casito against Jonathan Luhoni. We know that those two gentlemen are very quick, but let's see what KOBS will make use of this play from the scrum down.
Yeah, they made an acro.
Omar Balikanda there giving some advice and more tips on how he wants his scrum to be set up.
Yeah, blue and
Okay, good. Let the talk be there, but let's play responsibly. Okay, good. Okay, okay, let's set.
And now, after Balikanda has
Crouch.
the teams their instructions,
Bind. Set.
he's giving them their instructions. We
That's it.
hope that they'll have picked them very well. And yeah, just like we predicted, a crush ball off that carry for Justin Kimono. He breaks 2 tackles. He's brought down by Kennedy Muhumuza. And now Masendi with a quick ball out to Joseph Aredo. Joseph Aredo finds Robert Aziku, who offloads on the floor to Alhaji Manano. Alhaji Manano sends it out wide, and it is Adrian
Tackle,
Casito
Back.
carrying it into contact.
Offside, 13. Okay.
Playing the advantage
Tackle
now
now.
with Arthur
Back,
Pande
guys.
on the carry.
Okay.
Back to the blind side,
Okay.
Joseph Aredo. Now Adrian Casito, there's a player being attended to on the floor for
Tackle
IMPIS.
now. Tackle, guys.
I believe that's Robert
Guys,
Sentongo.
back. Guys, offside again.
Another
Okay.
advantage
Offside.
against IMPIS.
Okay.
They're not in the good books of the
Guys,
referee, and
offside.
as
13.
Amos Asimiri gets that turnover,
Time off, guys. Okay. Offside this side. 13. 13. Okay. Okay. Time is off, eh? Time is off for him. Okay.
it's Talon Arenaitwi that was offside, but with
13.
time off to attend
Offside.
to Robert Sentongo, I
13,
think
Waliedi.
in that tackle he made on Adrian Casito. KOBS, without a doubt, will be going to the corner. Their kicker, Joseph Aredo, has not been the best, but I see Daudi Semwami running on with the T.
The problem is,
So our
when I
KOBS
won this
going
side,
for points.
the next side is you. When I won that side, so you are playing a back-to-back game. Eh? Okay. Okay.
Time
Time
back
back
on
on, guys. Eh?
as Umar Barikanda gives more instructions,
Offside.
especially to the IMPIS side,
Okay.
on how he would like them to play this game and make it a
One, eh?
fair contest for both teams with some continuity, as he mentioned there, that it's back-to-back action with both teams in possession, alternating.
Okay. Okay.
Joseph Aredo finds touch just inside the 22.
Okay.
So let's see how KOBS will play in this
Sub.
lineout. First substitution of the game is Robert Sentongo. He limps off,
Out.
and we have
Yeah. Okay. This side. This side. Okay. That's okay. Okay.
we have the first substitution of
Ball,
the
eh?
game. There's no ball on the
Got
pitch.
Okay.
But IMPIS have taken the first substitution,
Okay. Maintain that 10, eh?
bringing on
Okay.
Tasiku
Come in.
Jerome as a substituted scrum half. But then on that line out, he's defending out
Okay.
wide
Turnover.
because IMPIS
Turnover is
expect
okay.
the ball to be played
Turnover is good.
by KOBS on the park.
Turnover
But
is
they
okay.
have won the
Got the ball
turnover.
fast.
Slow ball out from IMPIS.
Use it.
Back to Henry Nsekwie, who
Okay.
will look for touch. Yes, he does.
Okay.
And finds touch just outside the 22. Very good defense
He got,
from
he got to
from
the ball
IMPIS
fast, so that's
at
not a
that-
problem.
that line out and then the
Okay.
subsequent goal.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Ball fast,
Keith
so
Uraga is moving to 9, if I'm not
Get to the
mistaken.
ball fast, that's okay.
They seem to be interswitching between Jerome Tasiku and then Keith Uraga. But there's definitely a reshuffle in that back line as they try to get an exit out of their own half.
Hey, come in.
But first they need to defend this one. It's going to be an opportunity for the KOBS to strike again, and the reliable Pius Ogena in the air. Ball comes out. Joseph Aredo, short ball there to Robert Aziku.
Tackle now.
Carries and it takes 2 men to tackle.
Offside
And the ball
again,
comes out
13.
quickly. The dummy. Oh, Joseph Aredo. The show and go off the back in with Chimbo there, Collins. And you can see, congratulates the man. What a show and go. The defense bought that dummy, and Joseph taking some time off from the kicks to actually score a try. That is very, very awesome.
Beautiful try there from IMPIS, playing advantage for offside again. And Joseph Aredo splits the defense by selling a dummy to the left, selling a dummy to the right, and the gap opens in the middle. He hits it, scores the next try of the game to send the score from 22-0 to 27-0 with conversion to come. This should be an easy one for him. But let's see if he has found his kicking boots today. I spoke with Joseph Aredo earlier, and these are the new balls that were official match balls that we'll be using for the season. He says the ball feels a bit hard. It's not a case of the pressure, but it feels a bit hard in the hands. But the grip is very good, the shape is very good, and the size is just perfect for a team that is playing free-flowing rugby. So I think the organizers have made the right choice on the ball, but the hardness will be something that everyone will need to get used to as the season continues. And you can see now Joseph Aredo, I believe he is used to the feel of the ball, the hardness of the ball on his boot, and he's able to make it a full complement of points. Score standing at 29-0. A little bit slow for KOBS after that water break, but they have kept the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, credit to them there. They had gone a bit on the back foot after the water break, but they were able to patiently weather that IMPIS storm and get back in ascendance. And you can see they have scored yet another try. And before we even get into halftime, the score is approaching the 30-point mark, which, if you are a man of statistics, could see us going to 60 points at full time. But IMPIS know that they have a lot to fight for. It is the first game of the season. Points matter. Whether you're losing, you do not have to concede so many points. This time, Henry Sekuye goes for the longer, shorter kick instead of the usual long kick for territory of the restart. And Derek Tukwasibe trying to push the ball back, actually bundles it into touch. So it's going to be an opportunity for IMPIS to attack there.
A little bit unnecessary from Tukwasibe to play that ball. It was short at the 10. There was no contest in the air. He could have gathered it and attacked, knowing that there would be no advantage, but he slaps it back, hoping there's someone there, but there wasn't, and possession has been turned over. But let's see if Ayebare Godfrey this time can throw a good ball for his pack in the line out, who are doing outstandingly well together. A little bit of miscommunication there between Kennedy Muhumuza, and it will be stolen in the air by Pius Ogena. Wasn't the best of throws.
Okay, knock on offside. One. Okay.
And the turnover possession has been judged. There's a knock-on after Pius Ogena stole that ball. And the player that played it was ahead of the one that lost it forward. So that's offside at the knock-on. After that knock-on. And now Henry Sekuye.
Knock-on offside.
He can direct this ball between the uprights, and hopefully IMPIS can get some points on the board from this one.
Do you think it was the right call there for Henry and the captain to go for points, judging by the scoreboard and that we're still in the first half? Don't you think it would have been maybe better for them to kick further into the 5 and visit the KOBS 5 meter area for the first time and maybe try to force some pressure there?
IMPIS are damned if they do, damned if they don't. We just saw that line out didn't go well. So kicking and you gain some territory may not work out well if you want to maintain some position and put points on the board. But knowing that Henry Sekuye is a very good kicker, you're hoping that he puts points on the board. This time the kick has direction, but not enough power. And now KOBS can attack on the counter-attack. Adrian Casito finds some space in the middle. Offloads Joseph Aredo. Joseph Aredo is trying to find Alhaji Manano, but it's a loose pass. Gathered by Keith Weraga. Now KOBS, now IMPIS on the counter-attack again. It's back-to-back rugby, like the center referee Umar Balikanda had said. And IMPIS this time have camped territory inside the KOBS 10-meter area. Now ball out wide.
Advantage high.
Bay who's tackled high. So IMPIS will be playing advantage. Back to the blind side. Jerome Tasiku goes. Finds Blaze a chain. Still playing advantage.
Okay. Hold it. 16. Come. Captain.
Balikanda will
Captain!
have some words
Jose,
to
young.
share with the captain
Stay
of
there. So, I'm playing a first advantage for the same high tackle. He
KOBS,
commits the same high
repeated
tackle again.
infringement.
Okay? So it's going
It's a
off
high
now.
tackle.
Okay, those are two high tackles, guys.
There is
Okay.
a card, a yellow card there
There are two
for Opara.
In the same instance,
If
same
I'm not
play. Okay?
mistaken, yes, Opara
Okay.
is going to the same game. Think about
High
his actions.
tackle.
I think
Okay.
that's the one blemish we have seen with the
Mark
KOBS thus far. That
Mark here.
despite their dominance, you could say that
Captain.
the teams are actually equal in penalty count, or even they could be having more penalties than the IMPIS.
That's a tackle now.
They need to work
Mark.
on their discipline, because against more lethal teams that could come to hurt them. As
Advantage.
IMPIS throwing the ball away
Knock on.
aimlessly, Amos
Travels in
Asimile
front,
there,
guys,
throwing the
Okay.
offload without looking
Okay.
where he was going. Maybe it's a case of
Half time,
trying to
guys.
do a Super Rugby kind of experience, but
Half time.
it didn't work out, and that leads us into halftime. The score 29-0, just short of the 30-point mark at halftime. This, if you like, I was saying earlier, if you're a man of statistics, this could go to like about 50 or 60 points by full time.
KOBS let the foot off the gas pedal there. The way they had started, the estimate would have been about 80 points, but IMPIS have put up a stiffer challenge after that water break, slowed down the count, played more in the KOBS half, got 2 chances to put points on the board, but the kicker was not good enough there. Henry Sekuye hitting the upright the first time, and the second one is just short of the bar. Getting a chance now to start to go into the break, knowing that they can do better and give a better challenge against the champions. But then also they will be starting the second half with a man advantage. Can they take advantage of this? We can only find out after this halftime break.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
Halftime here at Legends Rugby Grounds, it is 29-0 in favor of KOBS against IMPIS, but we have some results from across the capital Kampala. Pirates are leading against the Hippos 5-0. That surely is a tight game in this one. We're still trying to find out who the try scorer was. But like had been predicted earlier in the week, that this was going to be one of the toughest games, and you can see from the score it's just 5-0. Scores from Makerere between the Rams and Mongas are yet to come in. But here, I think, as it stands, Mr. Derek Tukwasibwe is the top scorer. I think he has had a good start to the game, with now 2 tries to his name. But a beautiful try by Joseph Aredo and Justin Kimono was a true testament that KOBS not only have a strong pack, but they have a lethal backline.
Yeah, definitely. The KOBS squad looks very, very balanced. And I'm sure decisions like the one that Brian Odong made to retire, he knows he leaves the team in very, very good condition, in a very good situation, with good leadership. Everyone seems to be in a perfect body physique. So I think KOBS is a team that is in a very, very comfortable situation. And you could say that they didn't actually even need to add so many players in the transfer window as compared to other teams. As both teams are actually trying to have a couple of refreshments in this Kampala heat. It's just 1:50 p.m. if I'm 1:55, so it is very, very hot. Refreshments are key, and of course strategy. IMPIS will know that they need to come back and score a lot of points, or at least as many points as they can, because as compared to playing tournament rugby, this is league rugby. You can call it a journey. You can call it a marathon. So you need to keep accumulating points even if you lose. And who knows, they could also come back and get a losing bonus point if they can find it in them to maybe score points. But the first thing they'll need to be doing is find a way of quelling the way that KOBS is attacking, that they need to frustrate them and kill the distribution of the ball from one side to the other. Then also find a way of combating on the physical aspect of the game, so that they can not allow this game to grow out of their hands. They wouldn't want this game to go beyond 40 points since, without them having to put at least a double point, let's say putting more than 10 points on the board, I should say.
Yeah, I think IMPIS are doing well there with, how you're saying, in starving and choking the distribution of the ball in the back line. They are making those ferocious tackles quick off the breakdown. And KOBS have had to innovate and reinvent themselves by playing those cheap kicks behind the defense that are rushing onto them, sending long balls out wide to the running forwards to hit those gaps in the middle. But then they can only do so much for so long, and after a couple of phases, the gaps open up in the middle, and they're able to put points on the board. We know that they will be able to defend this one, but for how long? I feel the best way for IMPIS to defend is by attacking. They have shown us some few flashes of what they are capable of with playing in the KOBS half, making the right decisions as and when they did by going for points. It hasn't been exactly successful, but I think in the second half, playing in favor of the wind and with the way the ball is going to be flowing, they're playing to the short side, it will be good. It will be good for IMPIS to continue making those smart decisions in going for points, in looking for space at the back, and hopefully they can make some good use of the chances they get on possession against such a strong team in KOBS.
Yeah, definitely. But I think in all that we have said, the first thing that they need to do is get points on board, and they need to be the first team to score in the second half. IMPIS, they know that
they have a man advantage at the break with Brian Opa
on the bench.
They
know that they need to have something done. They need to score points, and they need to, like I said, they have that axis of their 10, 12, and 13 of playmakers in Henry Sekuye, in Edmund Wire, and Renato Stallone. They need to get them the ball and have those men prepare something for the team, pull the strings, and feed the ball to the likes of Kalezi and Luhoni, who can be able to cause the damage, but the ball is not going to them in attack. The attack looks like it hasn't had any particular structure. It's a case of either they are panicking a lot or they are not having any particular structure in what they are trying to do.
Yeah,
so that's one thing they really need to sort out, and sort out fast.
Yeah, I think IMPIS settled into this game a little bit late, and like we saw at that water break. From the start, you could see that there was some butterfingers, I could say. The kick off at the game bounced in their half, and Keith Weraga's kick to clear the half was about 10 meters territory gain. We saw the charge down, and Robert Sentongo missing a few pointers in the rugby law book, grounding the ball in his own half. So it was those butterfingers and then the decision making that wasn't on point at the start of the game. But then they recovered after that water break. And KOBS, who had put 17 points on them, were only able to just add 12 points on the board. So I think they have defended well at that point. Now it is time for them to shift that energy, continue doing the same things that they were doing after this water break to stop KOBS from stretching the lead away. And now they can shift it into attack, do more of the same, of that beautiful decision making that I talked about. And hopefully they will find a way past the team that is really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can agree with you on that one. As we are seeing the teams just getting their final remarks going, you can see the IMPIS side is psyching themselves up. They're a group that has been together for about 3 years now, and it's good to see when teams keep their players for quite some time. We have the biggest problem we have in rugby in Uganda, especially with the teams that are not considered the top teams, is how long can they keep their promising players? Most of them, after year 1, year 2, they lose these players to the bigger sides. But it's credit to the management of IMPIS for being able to keep this group and constantly adding some more youngsters each year. So, like I said some time back, that I think this team within the next 5 years could be a really, really imposing team. But they are a team that I can even see finishing mid-table this particular season. But it all starts with every decision they make, anything they try to do, and how they try to play. What direction is Emmanuel Katuntu as the coach trying to take? And are the players buying into it? So that is also another thing that we need to see. I have not seen a philosophy right now in this first half. Yes, they have come back with intent to defend and to also try and do something with the ball, but I have not seen particular intent in philosophy.
Yes.
With all due respect.
Speaking of IMPIS, the players are enjoying themselves there. As KOBS are in the team talk, the IMPIS players across are in a dance of sorts and enjoying themselves. I think they are at the right place at the right time. Last season they finished 7th, way above the relegation zone. They were not in that relegation scrap. The only way is up, but the decisions that they are going to be making in this game, what is going to give them the foundation of their campaign this season. They have the toughest fixture on paper. They are playing against the defending champions who went a whole season unbeaten. So their performance, they start this game on the back foot, but they have a chance to send a message that we are not in here just for just. We are here to compete. And as it stands so far, I think they are doing well with the competing. But we need to see more of that, especially by putting points on the board. Let the scoreboard do the talking, and I think IMPIS will have a proper fighting chance in this season against teams with whom they share an equal fighting chance. And there we have Stalon Arinaitu enjoying himself, giving us some dance moves with Kennedy Muhumu's. And you get to think, you feel the IMPIS are in the right place this time. They are happy with how they have played in the second half, and now we need now the objective is to make it work, show the results of the work that they have done, of the talk that they have had in the work they have done in the first half, and the talk conversations they have had in this halftime break. Let's see the results.
After the whistle, after the whistle,
Balikanda calls us
Captain
in for the second half. Summons Joseph Aredo as
We're
captain,
good.
asks him if he's all ready. Yes, he is. Everyone is ready. The whistle for the next 40 minutes of the first game of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League has gone.
advantage.
Robert Aziku
Backward.
is unable to gather Henry Nsekuye's kick. It's advantage,
no advantage
but
gained,
IMPIS are unable to make that advantage work. They have a chance now to play
Scram down.
that first scrum.
This really needs to learn how to punish mistakes. Such mistakes, you can't see a team making mistakes on the other end and also making a mistake in the same area where you want. Try and utilize that advantage. Keeping in mind that you might have, whether it's a short advantage period or a long advantage period, you utilize it. They are really letting KOBS is a team that also tends to crumble when there's a lot of pressure applied. But you find that the teams that come into the game and they give them way too much.
Seconds.
Yeah, but the way they are playing today, they don't look like they are giving
Round.
KOBS a lot.
Bang.
We need that to show, like we've been saying, we need
Set.
that to show on the scoreboard, and
Guys.
let's see how they're playing at scrum.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Hear
Hey.
cries of the players saying that the referees are
Guys.
pushing before,
Come in.
that the KOBS
Guys,
players are pushing before.
Guys.
But let's hear what
This
he
is
has
the
to say.
scrum, guys. Try to stabilize. Okay. Maintain the energy. Use it when the ball is in. Okay.
With both scrums. For those
Round.
KOBS is the one putting on blue with a touch of black.
Bang.
And IMPIS is putting on their away kit,
Set.
which is
There. Hold it,
predominantly
guys.
having white
Hold it.
and
Hold it, guys.
green shorts.
Hold it, guys.
And
Okay.
supervision of the referee, get another big scrum by the KOBS, and they get a penalty for it.
Guys.
Those are the moments where the Bucks come and
Okay.
congratulate their forwards for such work. For those that have been in a scrum, you know the amount of energy that it takes. It is energy sapping
Okay.
for the forwards to put in such work at the scrum, and that's why
Okay.
there's always that eternal battle between
Yeah.
forwards and backs, that when backs drop the ball, they tell them, you guys should take some time and come to the scrum and see how it hurts, because every time there's a drop ball or an infringement, there has to be a scrum. That is
Has Joseph Aredo found touch?
very,
Yes, he
very
has,
big
but,
touch there.
Stephen Kalezi had attempted to slap that ball back in. Looked like it went forward.
That's
and
got them
reminds me
banga
of
to
one
Arizona.
and you can hear
You
the
have to-
referee speaking to the IMPIS players and telling them that if Stephen
This side.
Kalezi had been in the air and slapped that
Let's push
ball
back,
back in,
back,
it would
back,
have
back.
been play,
Yeah, okay.
continued play, and Joseph Arede will not have found touch.
But credit, what Stephen
Okay.
Kalezi tried to do there is quite acrobatic, and I would say please don't try it at home.
Captain,
Unless you're
are you
fit, you
subbing?
really consider yourself to be fit, because it's only for fit
Sub,
people. As we're saying, Michael To coming onto the pitch for Robert Aziku, and we're
Sub,
seeing at the far end
Brian
Brian
Ochan.
Ochan also could be coming on for Robert Masendi.
We play, guys.
That depth.
Okay.
Also, there's a
Now.
case of looking at the benches, and you see on both sides.
Hey,
which
over,
bench
play
is
on.
able to come and really cause lasting impact for
Oh,
their
yeah.
side.
Yeah.
That is also another
That's
thing
okay.
that needs to be
That's
considered.
okay, guys.
As
Set.
KOBS try to settle the ball, Joseph Aredo still feeding, and Michael To, who has just come on,
Tackle
Very
now.
strong Kali,
that's what
yeah.
they call an impact player, and another short ball that goes loose.
Backwards, backwards.
Bit of, I think, miscommunication there. As IMPIS now try to get themselves out of their own half, kicking the ball away to the usually reliable Adrian Casito. Gathers, beats one, looks for the long pass. Ian Munyani, his mate, on and off the pitch, goes back into the traffic.
Tackle.
But he's a big man.
No,
He
no,
won't
no,
be
no, no,
afraid
no.
of that, as
Okay.
IMPIS is not afraid to contest.
Okay,
But
Keno.
unfortunately,
Your
that
feet,
was an illegal contest.
Keno, your feet. Your feet.
Yeah, there. As you can hear, the referee
Play on.
saying that Kennedy Muhumuza was off his feet, played the ball on the floor, and KOBS got a penalty
Tackle,
there.
guys.
Quick restart by the Bucks, but then again,
Back.
multiple loose balls by KOBS give IMPIS a chance now to attack on the loose ball.
Tackle now.
Kaka finds himself
Play
about
on.
to play ahead of him.
Play on.
He's brought down, and Ian Munyani is the
Tackle
first
now.
at that breakdown, effecting
Tackle,
a very
guys.
successful turnover. What a turn of play in this one.
Yeah, no one is really taking control of possession at the,
Taken back.
at the moment. It's an end-to-end thing here, as Adrian Casito gets a very good on and off kind of kick, and
He was taken back into the 22, but since it bounced into touch, there will be a territory
In out.
gain.
Blue
Adrian
ball,
Casito notices that there's
Yeah.
no one watching the backfield. He says that it's Emmanuel Sediabane. Emmanuel Sediabane is a forward, and he's not exactly the best man you'd want watching the backfield, and he's unable to judge the bounce of the rugby ball, and it bounces
Oh.
into touch.
Where? Like
but
on
that's also
breakdown
credit to the
scrum,
experience of players like
Yeah.
Let's hear what
Okay.
Collins Chimbo is saying to the
We shall,
referee.
we shall see that. We shall see it. We shall see it. Yeah.
Yeah, he assures him that shows the
What
experienced
game
Collins
we now?
Chimbo with very many
Get
caps
to the
to
ball,
his
stay.
name,
Eh? Pick it up.
that he's going
Okay.
to watch
Just move up.
all the action that is happening.
Mark is
It's a-
there.
It's an
Get to
Oh,
it.
yes,
Get
it's
to
a-
Tano. Tano.
Yeah, because
now
I was
play.
actually about to say that Emmanuel Sidiabane, in his attempt to try to save the ball, he actually slapped it and
Okay. Play on.
just now changed the
Play
possession.
on.
But you can see
Play
he's
on.
trying to make amends for what happened, but he fails to gather as Jimbo. Now,
Okay.
Jimbo
knock
looked
on.
like he was on clean-up duty there, but it's the
on.
whistle saves KOBS
Calm
at
down.
the moment. KOBS seeming to lose control of this.
Calm
game.
down
I
your
would
ball,
even
eh?
say it's
It's your
credit
ball.
to IMPIS who are really now
Let's play.
bringing the game to
Yeah.
KOBS, that
No,
you're
I
not
have
going
it
to
here.
have it your way all the time.
Yeah, let's. You can see the displeasure in Joseph Aredo there by saying the referee missed that call in what looked like a knock forward in the tackle by Emmanuel Sediabane. Emmanuel Sediabane was unable to gather that ball that went backwards,
Crouch.
and KOBS got the scrum fit. Joseph
Bang!
Aredo opines that the scrum should have been about
Set.
20 meters
Hold
ahead.
it, guys. Hold it
But
there.
this is their
Okay?
ball nonetheless, and let's
Hold it.
see how they will be able
Hold
to
it, eh?
attack this time from their own half.
Maintain, guys. Eh?
So Masendi, who
Ah.
has not been able to play some good balls consistently for his backs, this time does better, and the ball is spread out wide to Adrian Casito, who fends off Edmond Wire in the
Tackle.
back, finds a gap in the middle.
Okay. Ball is
Rugby
here, guys.
secured. Masendi short ball out wide to Joseph Aredo, finds Justin Kimono,
Tackle.
skips and hops past 2-3 players.
Okay. Side.
We have
Okay.
somebody
Side.
arriving from the side there. I think it was Sediabane.
Okay.
We have
Guys. Eh?
Pius Mpoza
Yeah,
trying to flex
Just
muscles
maintain
with
the five,
the
eh?
senior Justin Kimono, who tells
Just
him,
maintain the
"Man,
5. Eh?
this is not the battle we are here for. Let's play the rugby."
I do.
And
You
with
have space, eh, and
illegal
you can-
arrive at that breakdown.
Okay. So just keep calm. Eh? Okay. 5 guys.
The
Eh?
heat
Back.
plus the tempo of the game are causing temperatures to rise
Got
in
it.
this one.
When you're ready.
And Joseph Aredo and his KOBS will need to maintain their cool to stay in the right books of the center referee Umar Balikanda here. And they decide to go for touch. Joseph Arido doesn't make the best of it.
And you can see him rallying his team there. It's just testament to the
You
championship
tell them we can't sub on
mentality
a
that the
penalty,
Hawks
they
have,
should stop shouting.
that even with 29 points up, they are still hungry to
coming
score more and more. I'm sure with one part of their mind is thinking about what's going to happen at Chadondo or what will probably be happening at Kings Park. They know that it is more than just getting the win.
Guys,
You need
try
to
line,
get a
eh?
comfortable win, you need to
IMPIS.
get the bonus point.
Try line.
They want to start
Bayo.
day one
Bayo.
on top of the log.
Bayo.
They know they have to
2
defend
meters,
this. They are the
Yeah,
defending champions and they need
Good.
to do something about it.
Yeah, Robert Masendi there struggled
Okay,
through this one.
come
Not
in.
the best of performances.
Yes, you
Has
good.
been given a break and replaced by Brian Ochan.
Okay, guys, stay.
Number 9, much better line out
Play
from
on,
Cobbs to
play
find
on
Pius
now.
Ogena, who carries
Tackle
it
now. Release, guys, and away.
on straight forward.
Advantage.
Another
Okay,
loose
knock on.
ball by Cobbs. Lost forward there.
Tackle
And
now.
IMPIS will be playing
Away.
advantage just inside their own 22. Edmond
Okay.
Wire, who was struggled in defense against the first best Cobbs attack, finds touch.
Yeah.
And not just touch, but he maintains possession after giving a kick that Marco Suna had thought would fly a little bit forward. He does not gather that kick, bounces into touch. And now Cobbs will have to defend just inside their own half, but this is in a moment we have been hoping for all throughout the day.
Guys, come in.
IMPIS to play
Yeah.
with the ball, and they now start with a line out
Okay.
throw just inside their own half. Let's see what they will use this one for.
Okay. Come in.
A move
10 guys.
Adraf. They are
Maintain that 10.
in tribute to to one of their team managers at IMPIS. And you can see the chairs that he puts, but let's see if the Adraf move is a clean one. It is.
Okay, play
The
on.
move is okay, but the throw is not the best, and possession has been turned over. Adraf will not be happy in the consequent play here, as the ball is sent out wide to Karim Arinaitwe, dances back inside. Surely he's going all the way. He's brought down by the cross-covering tackle. Center referee Umar Balikanda says there's an infringement
Hey,
by the
Bayo.
Cobbs.
Mark in, no? Holding.
That was a beautiful cross-covering tackle.
Holding on to the ball.
and then being able to turn it over. Great defense there by IMPIS.
Yeah, great defense. I am happy with how the ball has shifted forward. We like to see teams play expansive rugby. Cobbs have done that, but then the defense has been up to the task to deny them a chance of going into the 30-point range.
Yeah, but it's just impressive to see that so far in the second half, no points have been scored, which is very good
No,
for
no.
a very good sign for.
Let them use the line, eh?
But now they
Just
need
give him
to,
the mark,
like you
eh?
say, turn
Hey,
that effort
no,
into
if-
some
if-
points. And
Give him
first
the
of
mark,
all,
they use the
get
line,
out
eh?
of their half and find the way inside
Yeah,
the
that's the
Cobbs
offside
half,
line.
Then apply the pressure from there.
Yeah, before getting out to their own half, they will need to throw
Okay.
a better throw and win their own line out
Okay.
to start with. It was an attacking platform at the
Come in.
halfway, and now it's more or less like a defensive platform
Stay.
inside, just outside their 22. But let's see if Ayebare Godfrey can throw a good line out for his teammates to gather. Does much better
Okay,
this
play on
time.
now.
Onto Jerome Tasiku, finds Henry Nsekwie. Will
Yeah,
put
watch
the
your
ball to
kick,
the
huh?
boat. Bounces just in front of Karim Arinaitwe, who sends it
All
out. wide to
onside.
Adrian Casito has Marco Suna on his outside. Sends the ball out wide. It's now sports day. Marco Suna cannot gather, but he stops that ball from being lost forward
Tackle now.
He's brought
Roll
down.
away. Roll.
by
Okay.
Stalon Arinaitwe.
Mark.
Mike Koto there loses the ball in contact as he goes for the man instead of the gap. And beautiful defense from
Scrum, eh?
IMPIS here.
Definitely, very more impressive show there from IMPIS. You talked about the line out. They worked on the line out there with a brilliant move, and they're defending well. I think they just need now their territory kicks to get
No, they're
better.
timing the yellow.
Henry Nsekwie needs to really put those kicks better. You can't be having an average kick going out to a player of the experience
Okay.
and the ability
Second.
of Adrian Costa, who can punish you. Make sure that he has to work for that to fill that kick. But now at least they have some better territory. They still need to get out of their half. But
Fine.
definitely better show from the IMPIS there
Set.
as they attempt to feed and get out of their half. Yet another point from IMPIS there about
Talk to him.
by the Cobbs. But
Hey,
you
hey,
can see
guys,
there's always that
So we have
Let's
issues
listen
here.
to the referee.
You're getting in early, and this elbow is inclined. Okay? So both of you are infringing. Okay? So we're resetting the scrum and let's maintain. Don't push, don't pull down.
And as you can hear there, the referee says that both teams are infringing. KOBS are getting in early, trying to get the momentum to push the IMPIS team before they set. But then also the
Crowd
of Gabriel Mugabe and Joshua Nkuruma
Bind.
is having their elbows
Set.
at an incline.
Hold it there,
But
hold
let's
it there.
see if they will
Hold it
make
there.
amends for this one.
Okay.
Ball out by Pius Mpoza, who finds Jerome Tasiku. Jerome Tasiku finds Jonathan Luhoni, who beats Marcos Ono on the outside. Jonathan Luhoni will be tackled by Joseph Aredo into touch. He's slowing down play and has been penalized for that. And Adrian Casito, smart as they can possibly come, finds Justin Kimono,
Advantage,
who
no
pushes the ball
con.
forward. It's advantage now. Ruben, why are you laughing?
Advantage
That's
over.
advantage. Loses the ball forward and IMPIS will be playing advantage, which is now over. It's the
Tackle!
first time in the
Tackle!
game that IMPIS
Tackle!
are in the KOBS half. Will they be able to put points on
Offside.
the board? We can only find out in the subsequent play.
Offside advantage.
Gabriel Mugabe with the ball carries
Tackle
into
now.
contact. IMPIS have
Back, guys,
advantage for
You're
offside.
playing advantage offside.
And now Stalon Arinaitwe finds Pius Mpoza, tries an offload that is
Offside
gathered by
6.
Pius Ogena.
Okay. Pius.
Pius Ogena was offside at that breakdown. And now Pius Mpoza catches the IMPIS defense snapping, offloads the ball out to Stephen Kalezi, and IMPIS have the first try.
Right time there.
It's try time from IMPIS. Beautiful play to be aware of their position and catching the KOBS defense snapping. They put points on the board. It's 29-5. But this is what we were talking about from the start, that IMPIS need to play with the ball. They need to attack. And they have now cleared the nerves that they had.
Where?
And they have found the whitewash.
Yeah, I think they have finally realized that these KOBS actually bleed. They are human, so we can play against them, and that is what has just happened. Pius Mpoza, credit there.
Yeah,
But I
good
think
decision.
What made me laugh earlier on was the fact that Justin Kimono shouted for the ball like a couple of seconds before. Then they brought it to him and he knocked it on, and which was the initiator of the IMPIS try.
Yeah, that was the turnover. IMPIS were playing advantage for the ball loss forward. They attack, they come back on the other side of the touchline, and the KOBS defense is still retreating. Pius Ogena is adjudged for having been offside, and his namesake Pius Mpoza is smart enough to
15
realize that
seconds.
the teams have not, that the defense has not
seconds, yeah.
realigned, and the try was caught by Stephen Kalezi off the offload. Staron Ainaitu
5
has
seconds.
under 15 seconds, now 5, to get that conversion going. He fumbles it.
Yeah,
Because he runs.
He was struggling with both cones. He has 2 cones there with him. I think one failed to settle, even the second failed to settle. He was like, you know what? Let me just drop kick it. And,
Yeah, and the referee was telling him that he's running out of time there.
yeah, so
And now, but this is good play from IMPIS, putting points on the board. Score is 29-5. We have seen crazy things happening, especially in the Gallagher Premiership, with how Harlequins seem to come back out of nowhere. Could this be a comeback for IMPIS?
Time to
as,
run, KOBS. Okay.
Josiah Sempeke, Emakere University students. Come on, Emakere University students.
Backwards
comes
play
on,
on.
to give us the
Tackle now.
restart, and well gathered by IMPIS. I
Get
think
on.
Josiah Sempeke has come on.
Okay.
Trying to figure
Him.
out who he has come on for,
I
because
think he has come on for Adrian Casito, saying Joseph Aredo going to 15, and then Sempeke is going to 10.
oh yeah, that is the one. And that, as you can see there, Justin Kimono still struggling with catching the ball.
That's on the
Appears to have
tackle.
been
Release.
high, but
Come,
the referee
release now.
says that's on the
Release.
shoulder.
Get on.
And now Longbola White, Saul Chivumbi carries into contact. He's
Tackle.
brought down by Blaise Ocheng. Blaise Ocheng now on the defense with KOBS on the attack. Alhaji Manano, we know he's a skilled man. This
Tackle
time plays
now.
with the ball. It's a tackle.
No.
Pius Mpoza is
You're
cleared
you're
off that
you're
breakdown.
you're
And now Josiah Sempeke, as
Tackle
nimble
now.
as they possibly
No.
can,
You're on the ground.
plays the ball out wide to Collins
Advantage
Simbo.
offside,
Well
7.
set. KOBS are now playing advantage for offside. Very beautiful tackle by Jonathan Luhoni there.
Back. Okay.
Still playing
Advantage.
advantage the KOBS for
Yeah.
offside. Pius Ogena now carrying.
Advantage,
Fends
guys,
off a man and leaves
Tackle
him
now.
to sit
Guys,
on the
get
grass.
on.
Still offside the IMPIS defense. Collins
playing
Simbo now.
advantage.
It's the 4th phase for IMPIS. Still playing advantage.
Offside. Guys,
Umar Balikanda has had
no
enough of this
advantage being
repeated
gained, eh?
infringement. No advantage has been gained.
Yeah.
And IMPIS and
play on
KOBS now
now.
play a quick restart. Alhaji Manano, with all his skills, is able to dive over after selling a couple of dummies. have to return some sanity in this game.
I did not
As
say
the
forward.
KOBS had
I
established at the
didn't see it.
beginning. It's now
Okay.
34-5 for the KOBS. The first try in a long time, especially now in the second half.
Navis start to that second half, they can now at least have a bit of a sigh of relief there. But you can see it was, you could say they're identical in nature. The try that IMPIS scored and then this try that the KOBS have scored.
What a
Not
break after
allowing
the
the
kick.
defense to get a chance to even reorganize themselves with a quick start. And you can say one of also the factors that has contributed to this is the way Brian Ochana has actually come and adjusted the way they play. He's faster getting the ball off the base and moving it to the next pod that wants to play the ball. So he's making the KOBS play a lot faster and not allowing IMPIS to rest. As Josiah Sempeke takes on responsibility of getting the extras. Can he be able to add them? Let us see if that will be possible. Josiah Sempeke, the youngster from Namilyango College, played for the under-20 Uganda side.
He captained that team, yes.
He was actually the captain, but unfortunately he's unable to get the extra, so it remains 34 as we go into the water break. Remember, it starts at 1 p.m. and the sun was very hot, so the teams need to get water breaks in between each half. But we appreciate everyone that's watching on Kawowo Sports. Make sure you're grabbing a Nile Special wherever you are. Nile Special is the beer, so it's synonymous with 15's Rugby. And we hope that you're enjoying yourself.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
Second water break of the game. We are going to get some updates from the other venues. That's at Makerere with Rams and Mongas and Pirates. At Kings Park with Pirates and Hippos. Halftime score at Kings Park was 5-0 in favor of the host.
Those passes, I'll be looking at all of you. Those last passes in the fight.
And as you can hear that the ref is going to now start watching a little bit more of those short passes from the teams. We saw the first water break give a change in momentum that went in the favor of IMPIS. And they held off a charging KOB.
Guys, come in.
There was
come back.
A try just before this water break. Will IMPIS be able to replicate what they did in the first half? I hope they will, because this will be a more entertaining game. But then we also want to see more of how ferocious the KOBS defense, the KOBS attack can be. We have some updates from Kings Park.
Kings Park, it's still 5-0, but with our correspondents that are there, they're saying it's a really, really tight game. That Hippos have come to play. You know, they have a couple of players that were ex-Pirates. They're trying to prove a point, but there's and the Pirates are looking a bit shaky in the way they are playing. I think it's maybe a case of fast game nerves. But also the Hippos have really come to play. Still 5-0 there. Pirates with a slight lead. Try scored by
that's taken
Bisaso.
back.
Peter Bisaso,
Yeah,
who came from
the
Ginger Hippos. What a way to announce his arrival at the Black Pirates by scoring against his own team.
Tackle now. Away.
But then the action is back on here at Legends Rugby Grounds as now IMPIS continue to attack. They've done this before, trying to find some space at the back of the KOBS defense. Henry Nsekwie finds some grass in front of Josiah Sempeke, who clears his half, finds touch just about 30 meters inside their own half, and this is going to be an IMPIS line out. Still the same setup from the start of the game, but let's see if they can throw a very good ball in this line out.
Yeah. This side?
IMPIS with a set piece. Amos Asemire,
Yeah, new hooker now in this lineup. It's going to be Amos
very
Asimile.
versatile forward.
Numbers.
Can play
I can tell you.
anywhere across the board.
Is there you are
Forwards.
matching?
He plays at one.
Okay.
He plays at
Come in.
I don't know one. He plays at prop. He plays at lock. He plays at flank, and he can hook as well, as he's going to show us. Hopefully, he does not
Bias.
embarrass the commentator for giving him all those praises.
Amos was a hooker in high school, and you can
Advantage,
see
no
that
call.
he throws a
Tackle
quick
now.
ball that is not gathered,
Tackle,
but then
guys.
has been lost forward
Back,
by
back.
the defense. Plays a scrum of diving pass there.
Tackle.
Run straight
Tackle, guys.
into Simon Makumbi. Ball
Okay.
has
Fast
been
knock
turned
on
over
here
and
from the
lost
line
by,
out.
turned
Just
over by
calm down.
Chivumbi, who was running away with it, but then no advantage has been gained either in territory and possession by IMPIS, so they get a chance to play off the scrum. But you can see Simon Makumbi checking his shoulder. That carry by Pius Mpoza must have sent
I
some
did not say tackle.
electric current through his system.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and you get to expect those pains here and there, especially if you're part of the game. The contact
Seconds.
is you cannot avoid, but IMPIS have been trying to use a strategy in
Crowd.
scrum where they feed the ball and make sure it comes out very quickly. With
Bang.
the 8, Kennedy Muhumuza picking
Set.
the ball very quickly before
Hold it,
Combs
guys.
can
Hold it,
really
guys, eh?
push and make them
Hold it.
unstable.
Hold it.
And let's see if that is the same tactic they're going to use now. Very quickly the ball moves out, as you can see.
Play on, play on.
And Jonathan Lohoni looking for the work. He's a very, very powerful man. And the ball goes out wide. Henry Sekuye, Edmond Waya. Edmond Waya
Edmond
drops
Waya
the
has
ball.
had a tough game
Yeah.
today,
Yeah,
both
look
on
on.
defense and now in attack.
He's not really
Calm down,
shown
eh?
as we expected him to do so.
I've liked how that sequence of play from IMPIS, it's
Side.
just a lost ball from turnover possession from the knock-on, but then IMPIS have reacted to the strength that Heathens, that KOBS have at the breakdown, playing quick ball out wide, making sure that they secure the ball at the top of the scrum. That is in Kennedy Muhumuza, quick ball,
Okay, seconds. Eh?
fends off his opposite man in Jude. In a Juco, offloads to
Crowd.
Jonathan Lohoni, who does a very good carry that puts them
Bang.
front foot ahead of the gain line. But then
Set.
the ball has been lost by
Hold, guys.
the
Hold it.
centers, and the pack will not be happy with how the
Hold.
possession they work hard for is being lost by the backs.
Out now.
And
Out.
now Derek Kwasibwe for KOBS finds Juco. Juco is a
Tackle
big
now.
man, a carrier,
Okay. Back,
well
back, back,
secured
back.
by KOBS. The IMPIS defense is still retreating. Derek Kwasibwe on the floor tries to get the offload, but then he decides to set it for the breakdown.
Tackle now.
And now
Okay.
back ball out by Brian Ochan, probably more popularly known as
Advantage, high
Olenge.
tackle.
It's advantage high tackle for
High.
KOBS.
Okay. High.
On
21,
Simon
guys.
Makumbi, but it is
High.
that energy. I think Olenge or Brian Ochan officially,
Okay.
who ran in the 2021 general elections,
But are you okay?
but unfortunately was unable to get the win. That energy that he brings into the game off the bench, I think he's probably one of the currently active players. Alongside Faizo Gama, he is one of the best off-the-bench players that we have in the country.
Yeah, and I think it's a real boost for KOBS to have two nines that complement, that you could say contradict each other in a good way. That they have Robert Masendi, who's calmer and assesses the game. And then when you want to speed up the tempo, you can bring Brian Ochan. So depending on the style of rugby that you want to play or the intensity that you want to play it at, you can be able
Captain
to choose
score.
who you want to start with. But
Scrum, eh?
that is the
Scrum
kind
down.
of impact that Brian Ochan has brought. And it's also, you talked about him standing for, was it LC1?
Yeah,
LC5?
here in Naguru.
Yeah,
here.
and it shows that even beyond the sport that we're having rugby players impacting the community, which is a very, very great thing as well, to show that players that they can do more for their communities beyond what happens on the pitch, and that's something amazing as well.
I think now there we have
Seconds.
another substitution for KOBS at the front row. Sol Chivumbi off, and on comes Wilobo Mukili, as earlier we saw
Crowd.
Jude Juko and Simon Makumbi come on for
Bang.
Robert Aziku and
Set.
Arthur.
Break it.
Have to say to
Break
the
it.
referee,
Break it. Break it, guys.
please come down.
Break it. Break it. Break it, eh? Break it, guys, eh? Guys, let's set. Let's set.
They are the scrum down. IMPIS are the louder team. Of course, testament to their arrogant
Crowd.
personality that they have with their
Bang!
That's,
Set!
tagline is a
There. Okay. There now, guys. Eh?
much better from both teams.
Hold it. Okay.
Derek Kwasigo is
Hold
driving
it, guys.
from the back.
Okay. Play it now.
Picks the ball, it's an open ball, drives off to the
Tackle.
blind side. It's a contest at the breakdown by IMPIS. Is it a legal contest? Yes, they have
Hands
won
on the ball,
turnover.
guys.
Derek Kwasigo has been adjudged for having
Guys.
held on to the ball. And Pius Impoza in trying to
guys,
replicate that quick
Oh,
restart
Bayo.
that he did.
Here. Okay. Our.
On the other end of the
Guys,
pitch,
move back, eh?
has
That's
got
that.
the KOBS defense snapping
That's
again
that.
and
Okay.
gets 10 meters free territory.
First of
gain.
all, your team's second row is not holding. That is the issue. Okay? The second row is not holding, so you cannot tell me to call them for early engagement. Okay?
There is some consultation between Keith Weraga and the center referee.
Okay.
Their second row is
Okay.
not tight.
Yeah.
That's why they call the tight forwards.
Line, eh?
So they cannot get the call in their favor if their team is not fully
No, you
engaged,
got
and that's
hands
why
on the ball,
KOBS
eh?
are having the upper
And
hand
you
in
got
the
the
scrum
hands on the
today.
ball. Okay? Mark here. Okay, no. Line, eh? Okay. Sub.
Substitutions called for IMPIS.
Okay. Yeah,
But
when
it's a
you're
line
ready,
out at
come
the
in.
halfway line.
Hold that 10, eh?
They're taking long to get going in this one. Yep,
Guys, eh?
that was a long time to
Guys.
get the action going.
Guys,
Ramos Asino
1
there, so
minute.
it's a,
Okay?
it's a quick restart. It's a free kick for KOBS. Started by Pius Ogena, fights Alhaji Manano. Alhaji Manano to Ilobo, to Michael Otto. Michael Otto fends off one man, breaks the first, second tackle. He's still going. There's a far beaten 4 men.
Tackle.
Sends KOBS into
Okay,
the
no, 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 no.
22-meter
Your feet.
territory.
Your feet. Okay?
Out to the blind side.
Okay.
Let's
Wait,
see how the sequence of players
off.
gone. Umar
off,
Balikanda
eh?
needs to consult with his AR
Time off.
in Elijah Massa.
It's time off, eh?
The time is off, but that was ball to the blind side. Josiah Sempeke goes to the boot with 2
So what
men
happened?
chasing. It's fumbled in there, but
Okay.
let's listen to the consultation between the referees.
Ground the ball, or with the ball just left and then go grounded. Eh? So it's a try. Eh? Okay.
Yeah, after
Okay.
some consultation, ball has been grounded.
Dino visible Vidala. Okay? Visible Vidala.
I think the score there was Alhaji Manano. We will need to confirm that one. But KOBS now have 39 points on the board with conversion to come. Kicking duties have been turned over from Joseph Aredo to Josiah Sempeke, who is using a different kicking team. So let's see if
Hello.
there will be some success on this one.
Yeah.
So Josiah Sempeke, who was not very regular in the 7 series, has put on some weight. I think he has been doing some work in the gym in the preseason, preparing for such opportunities where some big duties will be coming his way when there are players like Joseph Aredo on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. And working with the likes of Timothy Modola, I'm sure one of the things he as we
That's
see
a
him
beauty of a kick, but it comes off the upright.
yet again. That's
Oh.
but
29.
like I was saying, working with
Yeah.
the likes of Timothy Modola, I'm sure
Yeah.
there was emphasis on him putting on some size, and of course putting on size that you can handle, not just putting on fat. So you can credit that you can see he has actually really put on some really good size that will help him at least be a lot more comfortable in that midfield
Yep,
when
and
flankers and number 12s come running at him.
yep, and the S&C coach Timothy Modola was pleased that the work that S&Cs are doing is becoming central to the development of rugby in
Alright,
the
when
different
you're
teams.
ready.
We saw the Black Parrots announce that their S&C coach will be Byron Okuba, and across the road, across Ginger Road at Chadondo, it is Otim, who is going to be visit Otim, who will be the S&C coach for the Chadondo teams. And
Play on. Okay.
a little bit of fumbled ball by KOBS. Looked like he was bouncing into touch, slapped back into the pitch by Joseph Aredo. And there is a consultation there between the referees to know whether the ball was in touch or whether it was knocked forward, but it wasn't. And the half was cleared for an IMPIS line out
Open.
in a good territory for attacking.
Hey, IMPIS!
But let's see how they will be able to play. I have liked how IMPIS, against all odds, have been able to string some phases of play together.
Now!
Almost this time we'll know to play a quick ball at the line out and not waste time, and we can see the motion is already ongoing. It's a ball at 2, well regathered,
Play on!
well won, but not gathered, as it has been stolen by Pius Ogena, and now
Advantage
KOBS through.
offside!
Lobo Mukili are
Advantage,
attacking,
Sedia.
playing advantage offside for Emmanuel Sediavani, getting off his line
Has an
quickly.
advantage, eh? Sedia! Offside!
KOBS this time are not.
Okay. Sedia! Off, eh? Okay.
Are not going for the quick restart with Josiah Sempeke collecting the ball from Derek Kwasibu and saying, let's go for touch and play deep inside the IMPIS territory.
Derek Kwasibu there trying to tell the team, let's calm this down. We have the bonus point. Let us manage this game now.
It's 10 minutes to play, I think we should mention.
Yeah, so they need to just make sure that they see off this game and try to weather any IMPIS storm that might be coming, as we have a medical break there. That should be Emmanuel Sedabane or Amos Asimile, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Amos Asimile, who I think it's even a shocker for me to see him play this first game, judging by the way he went off injured in the last 7th circuit.
Okay.
But
And finally, we have some updates from Akere. It is, unlike it was last season, a very low-scoring game. Rams behind Mongas at halftime. Were behind Mongas at halftime about 20 minutes ago. The score standing at 3-10. And as it still stands across the road, across the town, all the way to Boyogere, it's still 5-0 in favor of the Pirates against the Hippos. Yeah, probably a very tight contest of a game there. We are
Sub IMPIS, who is off?
Yeah, we can see across the board, the games are a lot tighter than here at Legends.
Open.
Remember, for those that are watching with us, we have another action-packed game.
Mark is there, eh?
derby
Okay, guys,
coming
KOBS,
up,
stand beside.
between the Warriors and the Rhinos. Teams warming up on either side
Open.
of either far end of
Open.
the pitch. And
Okay.
that is another game that you should watch. So it's if you need to reload your data, this is the opportunity, or just in about 10 minutes you can do that. And don't forget to get your Nile special
Tackle now.
cans or beer bottles and enjoy. Remember, it's supposed to be for everyone above the age of 18, not under 18.
Calm down, eh? I'm the ref, guys, eh? Just play. Okay.
And there, I think that's one of the best bits that we shall have on commentary, as the referee tells Brian Ochan that I'm the ref. Your job is to play the
Mark
rugby.
here.
He has judged him to have lost the ball on the floor there, as KOBS had played a smart line out.
Okay, second.
Ball in the tunnel for Pius again at number 1. He carries through, but then the subsequent breakdown is not a successful one to KOBS to stage. And
Crouch.
It's great to see that the
Bang!
referee take some time and
Break it, guys, eh?
his authority. Sometimes the players tend to forget they want to play, and they also want to be referees,
Yeah, that's
which
okay.
Can't work
Okay.
in the modern
Second.
game.
Yeah, like the English say, 2 jobs never end.
Crouch.
We've
Bang!
taken some time off to speak some English, and
Set.
hopefully we're not doing badly at it. As we have,
Second row. I mean, bind, eh? Bind not him. And not on top. Okay? Zig is buying on top.
as Umar
and it's a low.
Balikanda had told Keith Weraga that the second rows are not binding.
No, Payo.
Since he had passed on the warning,
Okay.
he has
Guys,
now
10, eh?
executed the punishment
10.
against the
10.
IMPIS. They will need to make
Ziggy, bind
some
under.
corrections, not
Not
just
on top.
today, but throughout the week, to make sure that their bind in the scrum is much better, because this is a very important set piece in the game. And now KOBS can even inch closer to the try line. It's going to be the first time probably we're seeing a line out
34.
in this territory for both teams. It's just 6 minutes left to
34.
play.
Don't
34,
have
the
far.
referee says that we have 6 minutes left to play in this game.
This side,
KOBS lead
Impis?
39-5. Are they going to play as I
Open.
was thinking out
Open.
loud? Are they going to play a line out plus maul, which is the driving maul, or are they going
Okay,
to
when
send the
you're
ball out
ready.
wide to their forwards or not in the line out?
Public secret here. They're definitely going to do the maul. It's going to be a maul. They want to maul
Okay,
it
they are
into the
playing.
try area. That is going to
I
happen.
know,
As
I've
you can
seen
see
him.
the maul being effective.
Back.
Yeah, they didn't there. They played a very smart play against the IMPIS.
That's
Like
attack.
us had expected a
Back.
maul.
Back.
And Jude Juko there with a very strong carry, which appears to have sent some poser to bed. And you can see the displeasure in the KOBS there for
No quick one.
that string
No
of,
quick one.
of loose passes.
Poser. Offside line here. Yeah, line.
Derek
You have-
Tukasi were there attempting the long pass, but
No, there was no that.
reality
no
reminding
that.
him that he's a forward and not a really pass-savvy forward, I should
Okay,
say.
Mark, guys.
Good humor. Today you're going to kill me with laughter because of this one-liners you're delivering.
Guys,
But we
It's your
love
ball.
to see forwards with skills, and I think Derek Kwasibo, who
Hey
used
guys,
to play touch
10 if you are
at
not here.
Makerere with us,
Back.
that Friday touch
Back.
that we were playing. And also I believe he
Okay,
has
come
a
in.
couple of skills that he still possesses that enable him to play
Guys,
like a
that's
backliner
on your
among the
side,
forwards.
really.
I think it works
Okay.
for us either
It's
way
a
because
skilled
when
pass,
it works
it's
out,
a
it's
skilled
beautiful.
throw.
When it didn't work out,
Okay.
it's comical because then
So,
he was passing to the touch judge.
Line out, scrum.
No, there was no comms player to receive that
Captain.
And
Scrum.
yet again, IMPIS are unable to take advantage of such tons of possession that are given to them
Yeah.
by KOBS. KOBS have been uncharacteristically
I'm
inefficient
wrestling, eh?
today. But
I'm the ref.
so has been IMPIS, probably even more, especially in the set pieces and the line out. The line out feed was not straight, was lost forward even in the subsequent play. And
Mine,
KOBS
one
had
C.
an option for a line out or scrum. They've opted for the scrum, which
Okay.
we all know
Bro!
we have seen from the start that has been their strongest point
Bang!
in the game.
Set. There. Hold these guys, eh?
I'm They will be
Guys,
very
step.
encouraged going into their next games, having to start with the defending champions and
Yeah.
Acid Tech, and it will give them a preparation for the game. As we are seeing, Alhaji Manano to Arinaito Karim, the long pass to
Marco Suna.
big tackle there.
Try time! The referee is satisfied with the grounding of the ball. He says Marco Suna did enough to apply pressure in the in-goal area for 5 points in this game, but a beautiful move off the scrum. Slow ball as the KOBS pack looked to drive it forward. They gained maybe a meter or
Hey,
two.
Impis. Try line, eh?
They gained maybe a meter or two, send the ball out to the back line.
Oh, put them chair, this
There's
them.
a player, Karim Arinaito, running a loop. And
As we are seeing Alhaji Manano to Arinaito Karim, the long pass to Marco Suna. Big tackle there.
right time, the referees.
For the game, as we are seeing, Alhaji Manano to Arinaito Karim, the long pass to
Marco Suna. Big play of moves. And I think now Josiah Sempeke has done enough to get the extra points. What a kick this young man has delivered off his left foot. The score now 46-5. But
One.
we're talking about that try, yeah.
But it was just the way he was able to keep that ball with that
Guys,
tackle that he received and
come in.
absolutely find the wall finishing. That was credit for that was typical
Okay.
a typical
One,
Indians try, you should say.
Yeah, so we could
1
say that
minute.
Marco Suna has put
Playing one,
the
guys.
icing on the cake with 1 minute left to play. Very
Playing 1
beautiful
minute.
try
Okay.
by KOBS from the set piece. The forwards did their part, giving the backs an attacking platform, and
Okay,
they made
when
much
you're
more use
ready.
of it. Full complement of points for 46-5 with just 1 minute left to play. I think the next time the ball goes dead or is into touch, it will be full time. But what a beautiful game of rugby.
Or maybe Expresso KCCA probably to the
Bad guys, eh?
hospital, the China Uganda hospital. But like I was saying, looking at it being 46 and the KOBS looking at that scoreboard, I wouldn't put it past them to want to get the 50-point mark. They're a
13
very proud
seconds.
team, and
So
they'll want to
after
achieve
13
that.
seconds
And
left,
IMPIS will also not want to, that banter afterwards, doesn't be funny when you're the one on receiving the 50 points. So I think that's also something they'll also want to fight against, not let it get to 50 points. So that is what these last few minutes are going to be all about. Pride.
You're saying minutes, but we do not have a lot of time. The referee says we have just 13 seconds to play. But you can see the intent, like you mentioned, in the KOBS attacking line with Ian Munyani finding Karim Arinaitwe on the blind side. Short pass. Finds Karim Arinaitwe, who beats a couple of tackles. Finds Simon Makumbi. Simon Makumbi loses the ball there in the tackle, and it was kicked into touch. We now have the last play of the game. It's a line out for the KOBS. Gathered by Derek Kwasibe on to Jude Juko. Breaks the first tackle and the second.
That's
KOBS
a
are
tackle
just
now, roll away.
5 meters away from the try area.
Okay.
Brian Ochan, inside ball and intercepted by Henry Sekuye. But he was offside. There's no advantage. Henry Sekuye is still
The
going.
referee has called us back.
Oh my
unfortunately.
God. He's phoned by his long-time friend Henry, by Joseph Arredo. Henry Sekuye looked like he was riding away with this one. And it is full time. Oh wow!
That was
what an intercept!
What exactly was the rule
They
is
knocked
called,
on
in your
on the
opinion?
they
Let's
knocked
listen.
on the turnover, okay? Guys,
He says,
guys.
oh, let's listen.
guys,
There's still
guys,
some more going on with the players not in agreement with the decision by the referee.
Guys, move. No one said the penalty, guys. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. No one said the penalty, okay? No, move out in attempt turnover. You're almost making a turnover. One of your players knocked the ball on. So I played advantage for that. I was the one on the ball.
And as you have heard there from center referee Umar Balikanda.
There was no
Umar Balikanda, they are making it clear that
For the KOBS, he was very instructing. You go and shake hands, congratulating each other for an effort well done. You can see there Arinaitwe Stallone greeting the rest, and you can see the impactful Michael Toe with his water bottle. He came on and he really brought the brute into KOBS' game. You could say that he brought back the physical dominance that they had lost. As we are waiting for the next teams that are going to be coming on, but we shall be having a recap of the action from this game, the game that saw the defending champions, the KOBS, start off their 15th campaign in expert and dexterous fashion.
Guys, hang by code for penalty.
Coach even pulled him out like
Guys, hang by code for penalty.
I had him and Yoti had even finished the game. How do you call a penalty in the game?
They were making a turnover. Then the guy lost the ball. I played advantage, no call. Because then KOBS knocked them three and a passing. It was a penalty forward. Both teams wanted more points, but in the game we were time.
The other ball already played back on him. Before landing on the ground. I was like, they should have given them a line now. I like you go and read Jopo. Hey, it's well stipulated. But look at someone abusing somebody.
It is just the beginning. More of that is coming.
What does it take to win gold? Ours is the result of what we put in. Only the best ingredients and only the freshest water drawn from the source. What then does it take to win 21 gold awards? A special kind of consistency, one we've observed since 1956 to deliver a distinctly Ugandan taste. That is what makes Nile special. A beer truly made of Uganda, unmatched in quality and unmatched in gold. One beer, 21 Monde Selection Quality Awards. The true Ugandan reward from the source. Alcohol isn't for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.